Hey, Shalom. First, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, the house of David. Let's get into this. Will be case 2 or episode 2 of Think Like a Spiritual Judge. Think like a spiritual judge. And I will give you a scenario. You walk into a room, be it in the times we are in, peaceful times, at work, or in Jacob's trouble, and you see a woman known to have a husband, but she's in distress. She's been abused. She's been not treated well. And you two have a good communication going on. You two have a good thing going on. You know? Y'all vibe perfectly well. What do? Do you save this woman? Do you save this woman from that man? Take her and run away with her and save her from the, in this case, evil man? Or do you leave that situation completely? Do you not bother with it? Or do you deliver her from that man by what? Or trying to get him out the picture? Trying to uncover this man as a so-called cheater, or in the times of Jacob's trouble, get rid of him by any means necessary. You see her, in her eyes, she's like the moonlight in dark times. You doe-eyed on her, and she you. Each time you laugh, you enjoy it. It's like damn near y'all breath is as one. For a woman like this, what do you do? Simple. Get the hell away from her. Get the hell away from her. You flee from her. I'm sorry, no matter what the situation is, but she is another man. She's another man's wife. No matter how bad he's treating her, no matter how she feels about the situation, even in Jacob's trouble, you flee from her. Because anything other than that will lead to what? Adultery. You gotta be a snake. You gotta be that guy around the corner. If the situation making you that guy that gotta peeks around the corner to make sure her man isn't there just so that y'all can have a conversation, you have become the serpent. You are playing the role as a serpent. If we have to sneak calls, sneak looks, sneak laughter with each other, you have become the serpent. You are playing the role as the serpent. Especially if it's behind the man's back. That is the act of a coward and an adulterous, evil man. Flee. You got to get away from that situation. No matter, because a lot of women like to say, what if he treat me bad? What if he's abusive? What if he's narcissistic? That is the man you chose to lie down with. That is your husband. That is the man you decide to be in a relationship with. No matter what this man is, that is your husband. And you cannot And as a man, you cannot interject yourself into that situation, interject yourself into that relationship. And as a woman, you cannot, leave that man unless he's okay with you writing him a bill of divorcement or he writes you a bill of divorcement. And I'm hold on, let me check on that first thing I just said, because I remember the scripture. I want to make sure I'm posting it right. One moment. I guess I was remembering that incorrectly, because I could have sworn, it said a woman can write a bill of divorcement, but I guess I was wrong, so I stand corrected. So unless that man gives her the bill of divorcement or, remove her, you cannot deal with that woman. And we're going to read this scripture just for better edification. Listen. This is Deuteronomy chapter 24, verse 3. And if the latter husband hate her and write her a bill of divorcement and give it to her hand and send her off and send her out of his house, or if the latter husband die, which took her to be his wife, her former husband which sent her away may not take her again to be his wife after she had defiled, for that is abomination before the Lord, and thou shalt not cause the land to sin, which the Lord thy power give thee for inheritance. Now this is what we're talking about. I'm gonna read from the top, cause this is talking about getting. I'm gonna just say getting rid of a woman, making her depart from you, divorcing her. We just gonna get the scripture, then we're gonna get back to the scenario. Deuteronomy 24, verse 1. When a man have taken a wife and married her, he had sex with her, and it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he have found some uncleanness in her, then let him with her write a bill of divorcement and give it in her hand and send her out of his house. And when she is departed out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife. That's the only time you'll be able to do that. That's the only time you'll be able to get with that woman, but you cannot be a snake. You cannot be the creep. You cannot be that creeper, that man lying in the shadows. Plotting on this woman, because it will only end in adultery. And especially because nowadays these women are, very devious. You have to be careful. You want a woman. Hell, I say this to myself. First and foremost, I gotta make sure. Before I, try to put myself in that position, because some of these women, they like having a side piece. They like having a side piece. You probably ask her, do you have a man? She'll probably say yes, but so? You don't want that to happen, especially if you got some affection to this woman. Especially if you have some affection to this woman. Now, run. Get your ass up out of there. Now, let us recall one of our patriarchs. We're finna call. I'm gonna get it because I want to read that story. Here it is. This is Genesis chapter 39 verse 7. We're gonna read we're gonna start at verse 5. Listen. And it came to pass from that time that he had made him overseer in his house, and over all he had. This is when Joseph was in the land of Egypt, and he was made a servant, a slave. Overseer in his house. He made him overseer in his house, and over all he had, the Lord had blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. And the blessing of the Lord was upon all that he had in the house and in the field. And he left, the master of the house left. And he left and all that he had in Joseph's hand. He left all that he had in Joseph's hand. And he knew aught he had save the bread which he did eat. And Joseph was a goodly person and well favored. No, he was saying Joseph was good looking. Joseph was good looking. He was good looking, and he was, he was a well put together person. They always try to portray us as some dusty, mean, disgruntled black man, but nah, that ancient Israelite look. Yeah, it had women swooning. It had women swooning. Listen. And it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast her eye upon Joseph, and she said, Lie with me. But he refused and said unto his master's wife, Behold, my master's wanted not what is with me in this house, and he hath committed all that he hath into my hand. There is none greater in this house than I, neither hath he kept back anything from me, but you. Everything in his house my master has given me. It's nothing he kept back. Man, I got access to the safe. I got access to the pantry. I got access to the other slaves. The only thing my master did not give me is you. Because you're his wife. You see? Neither, I'm going to read that over again. This is verse 9. There is none greater in this house than I, neither have he kept back anything from me but thee, because thou art his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against Yahweh? And it came to pass, as she spake to Joseph day by day, that he hearkened not unto her to lie by her or to be with her. Now she was like, this is a woman on a chase. She was like, dang, I need this man. She was hot for Joseph. Hot. A lot of men today will fold. If a beautiful woman wanted you that badly, y'all fold. Y'all would fold. There's a lot of men, well, I ain't gonna say y'all. The men today would fold. Salakia. The men today would fold. If they had, what they call today a baddie, doggone falling over for them, they'll fold. They'll fold and be happy about it. Casting the ways of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua to the side, But that's why we must look. Ask for the old path and where, looking for that good way, so we can walk in it, Verse 11, and it came to pass about this time that Joseph went into the house to do his business, and there was none of the men of the house there within. And she caught him by his garment, saying, Lie with me. And he left his garment in her hand and fled. What? He fled and got him out. And that's what you should do. You should flee the situation. Flee the situation. It got that bad because he was a servant in his master's house. You can speculate in the spirit that the first time he would have got away from her and never even tried to be in her vicinity, you know. But since he was a servant in his master's house, all he could do was, just deny her. Until this time right here, he had to dip out. You know, and that's the mindset you should have in this time, at any time at work, or at times of rest, or in times of Jacob's trouble. You know, if a woman, I don't care if she beautiful or not, has a man is in that vicinity. She's known to have a husband, one currently alive in a active relationship, and she's aiming for you, she's gunning for you. Get the hell up out of there. Flee, run for the hills. Run for the hills. Let me get this scripture. This is This is Hebrews chapter 13, verse 4. Listen. This is not the one I wanted. I'm going to come back to that one. This is Salakia. Pardon me. Let me get the scripture I want. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 18. Listen. Flee fornication, for every sin that a man does without the body, but he that committed fornication sinned against his own body. This is concerning physical. This is concerning physical and spiritual fornication. When someone say, "Hey, let's go to this temple. Let's listen what they gotta say. Their gods, they gotta say." You run for the hills. There's a woman trying to say, "Hey, come with me. Come on the back. My man ain't here." Run for the hills. Run. Boy, you oughta run from the devil. That was the inside joke, a song I used to listen to. This is Proverbs chapter 6, verse starting from verse do I want to get from 27? Yeah, I'm start from verse 24. This is Proverbs chapter 6, verse 24. Listen. To keep from thee evil women, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman. Don't fall for her. Don't fall for them words. Don't fall for no them seductive words. Especially if she has a man, she ain't got a man. Yeah, you can play right into it. At your discretion. If she ain't got a man, if she give them eyes and words, do what you do. At your discretion. But if she has a man, and she's known to be an adulteress, she's known to be she's known to be in an active relationship. Haul your ass. Look, to keep from thee the, to keep from thee the evil woman, from the flattery of the tongue of a strange woman. Lust not after her beauty in thine heart, neither let her take thee with her eyelids. For by means of a whorish woman a man is brought to a piece of bread, and the adulteress will hunt for the precious life. You know? Man, she gonna be out here. These women, what they say in this world, they'll leave you strung out. They'll leave you strung out. What they say, they'll leave you strung out, man. They'll leave you broke. And once she broke, she what? She gonna move on to the next one. She gonna move on to the next victim. And she had a way with that. She made you commit adultery. You committed adultery. Now you ain't did it. Now you her side nigga. Now she got this over you because you know y'all committed this act. She made you fall weak in the knees for her. She made her lower midsection your God. She got that power over you now. Now you just in a bad situation because now she can always bring this up. Now she got this ledge over you. She can do this with any man. So you have to be careful. Cause she gonna seek for that good life. She gonna seek for that good life. She gonna play her part. She gonna, as the scripture says, she hunts for that precious life. Verse 27. Can a man take fire in his bosom and his clothes not be burnt? Can one go up upon hot coals and his feet not be burnt? So he that goeth in to his neighbor's wife, whosoever touches her shall be not innocent. You hear that? You do it, you're not gonna be innocent. We're gonna jump down to verse 32. Listen. But whosoever committeth adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. They ain't got no understanding of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. They don't have no understanding of the latter consequence. They don't have no understanding of the latter consequence of what can happen. Especially, you don't want this to happen to you in the times of Jacob's trouble. You don't want this to happen to you in the times of Jacob's trouble. You was almost there, but you got weak in the knees, and you saw this woman. You wanted her, but she was a man. She has a man, and you still went for it. You was so close. You was almost there. Yeah, I know y'all seen that picture, that meme of that one guy walking away with a pickaxe, his head low, but on the other side of the wall, just a thin line. Only probably about 2 to 3 more hits, he would have found all the diamonds. That's you in the time of Jacob's trouble. He was almost there. But you let that woman get you. You let adultery take you. Flee from adultery. Flee from fornication. You don't want to be sued. You don't want to be sued by these false prophets either. They tell you, that's not the MOTB. You can take that. The MOTB is white women. The MOTB is Sunday worship, which they are not. The MOT is white women. The MOT is all Sunday worship. You could take that. You could take that chip. Go ahead and take it. Don't flee fornication. Don't be taken in by them smooth words. Don't be taken in by them smooth words. A wound and dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall be not wiped away. You know, let me get that scripture I had earlier. Then I'm gonna call it a close. Call it to a close. This is Hebrews chapter 13, verse 4. Listen, marriage is honorable in all, and the bed is undefiled. Have your way with your husband. Have your way with your man. You know, but for you men, don't touch a woman that's in an active relationship. She has a man. For a woman, if you have a man, you cannot go to another man. But if you are single, and you want to add to that man, even though he has a wife, you can't do that, because a man can have multiple wives. I mean, just put that out there, because this ain't y'all probably thought I was smooth on y'all, but nah, y'all probably thought I was soft on y'all. Nah, a man can have multiple women. You know, as long as that woman is, she doesn't have a husband. As long as that woman is without a man, Verse 4 again. Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled, but whoremongers, men who sell women, look up the word whoremonger. A whoremonger is a prostitute, because a pimp, a whoremonger, he don't care who he's selling. That woman can have a husband. He done pimp talked her, snatched her up, and now he's selling her. But whoremongers and adulterers, Yahweh Shem Yahushai will judge. So with that, I hope you satisfied. Again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh in the name of Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the whole elect, the house of David. Until next time, Yahweh willing, Shalom.